Okay, let's see if we can knock this out later in the day because there's a lot of juice and movement in the house later in the day. Okay, so along with peace, 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 and greetings, um, along with the affinity for nature, and there's reasons we love being in nature, and I spoke to a lot of those earlier this week, that there's grounding. Let's make sure this screen is clear. Um, but there's grounding, there's an electromagnetic connection to the earth around us, and we are nature. So, in connection with nature, it grounds us too. But there's some things, and my daughter done taught me some stuff. So let's see if I can get it up there in time. She taught me how to add these pictures to my video. So I will record this and then add the pictures and get this up. Um, a few things. So there are a few things that we use in spiritual work. Um, but the properties of an herb are the properties of an herb. And the reason that our ancestors and indigenous people are using them is because the properties that they hold for us spiritually, they also hold for us physically. So in my brain, I think initially I had a separation of these are the special magic powers of this particular herb. But the magic of that herb also serves my body when I eat it, when I drink it, when it's burned around me, all of those things. And some ways of consuming these different herbs are maybe more beneficial to the body, but the property is the property is the property. So there's a few that I wanted to share about, and I'll put up pictures on the screen and all those things. Um, but one of them is Palo Santo, which is one of my favorite incense to use. So this is a Palo Santo stick. It also comes in oil. Sometimes people put it in powder too, but this is my favorite way to get it. So I'm going to burn Palo Santo in my incense goblet with a charcoal brick on it. So here it is, and it'll start smoking. And it is smoking already. So Palo Santo is usually found in Peru, Ecuador, South America regions, countries. If it gets too smoky, I'll have to move it because the smoke alarm will not enjoy the Palo Santo like I do. The translation of Palo Santo is holy wood. And so even as you're burning it, there are um, the most healthy and um, ecologically isn't what I want, but um, can't pull it. But sustaining it in a way that is good for nature and not endangering the trees is. It used to be that the trees would die, and then the wood would be harvested. So the wood smells very, very sweet. And unfortunately, because it's so popular, sometimes you will see you'll burn your wood like this wood is burning right now. It's just burning. This supplier is pretty good in getting you wood that just does this. But sometimes the wood has been soaked in an oil that smells like Palo Santo, and you don't realize it until you're burning it and you see the oil bubble up on the wood. And I'm sure it's supply and demand, and the people that's being uh, sustained from sustainably harvested, is that what I want? I'm just trying to make sure that they're meeting the needs and taking care of themselves, but you don't want the oil to be bubbling up out of the wood. But this is what I mean is the purpose is the purpose is the purpose. Palo Santo is used to treat pain and stress. Negative energy is expelled or, moved away with it. So it's used to cleanse spaces. You'll see people walking around with a Palo Santo stick. Um, you can it can be harvested from wood. I mean, sometimes we burn it in wood and resin. It can be taken from the fruit of the tree in oil. And so the spiritual properties, of course, are the cleansing of the space, the reduction of stress. It's a sweet, pleasing scent. But that same energy applies for the body. It repels mosquitoes, ants, and repels mosquitoes, ants, termites, flies. Some of those things don't like smoke in general. So you could burn sage and it might do something similar. We're going to talk about that in a second. But the oil can be rubbed on the body and it will reduce pain and arthritis, and throat pain and headache pain. So when we're looking at something that has a spiritual property of calm and peace, and then we look at the fact that it still does those things in the body, brings calm and peace, reduces inflammation. It's anti-stress and anti-anxiety, and so it does it on both sides, both spiritually and physically. Sage, which I cannot burn on camera because it smokes way too big, so my daughter accuses me of doing drugs. She's being funny, but I do smoke this room out with sage. Sage is purifying spiritually, but it's also purifying with microbes and bacteria. It's antibacterial, it's antimicrobial. I remember when the children used to come with a whole bunch of cooties during the school year in the co-op. We would burn sage in the morning to cleanse the space, and we would cleanse it spiritually for them, but also we trying to get all them little bugs and cooties out so nobody's sick. It releases negative ions. It is also used in promoting spiritual intuition. Um, yeah, and it cleanses and empowers objects. So you can use it to cleanse. Maybe I remember my aunt gave us a piano. And when that piano fell out of tune, my aunt, peace be upon her, in the spirit realm, sent us another piano. And the house that that came from, it was another woman who had passed. And so before that piano came in the house, I cleansed it with sage. But it's purifying on both sides. It's purifying for the cooties and it's purifying for the bad juju. It clears the space. So again, just a reminder that nature is consistent. The property that is the property is the property. Um, it can improve mood. It can soothe stress. It can improve the quality of sleep. It can boost cognition. So you're looking at a spiritual property of cleansing, of removing negativity, promoting a calm space, and then that it does all that in the body. And then when you eat sage, you get the antioxidants that fortify our bodily defenses. Um, it helps to neutralize free radicals. It can ease menopause symptoms, reducing blood sugar levels, um, supports brain health. It can lower bad cholesterol and protect against cancer and relaxes the gut. And so again, I think about the fact that sage is used. You see people walking around with their huge sage wands and we clearing the space and everything, but you're also clearing illness and you're also promoting all these other things. And then if you eat the sage, you have the blessing of doing all the aforementioned things I said for the body. So I get a kick out of the fact that these things do their job. We have a tendency to separate what the spirit work is from the body work, but that's all spiritual work. Healing our body is spiritual work. This flesh, this body that we are blessed to have, that carries around our spirit. This skin is our largest organ. So when we do things like um, light these various herbs or apply various herbs or make spiritual baths with these herbs. The purpose is the purpose is the purpose. If it's cleansing, it's cleansing. If it's healing on all fronts. So salt is something we use a lot for spiritual cleansing, um, for banning negativity, for protection. I'm sure there's quite a few movies where you've seen someone put salt down at the door to bar someone bringing negative energy in or protecting their space, to cleanse a space. But salt for our bodies is also good in balancing electrolytes. It's blood pressure regulation. That means not eating all the salt. Muscle function, hydration, nervous system function, immune support, and reducing stress. So these are the things like We put salt in spiritual baths a lot. You can put Epsom salts in your bath to relax your muscles. Sometimes when people are cleansing feet or they're doing, I just lost the name, but they're doing the ionic baths with the feet to pull toxicity out of the body. They're doing those. I remember in my early 20s, we were doing those. They weren't salt colonics, but they were rough. We were eating large amounts of sea salt, drinking it uh, to force our bodies to cleanse, and cleanse they did. That was very violent. I will probably never do that in my life again. There are more calm ways to cleanse my colon than to do that. But again, so the property is the property. If it's working in the woo woo, it's working in the body. And it's the same thing. The same thing for frankincense. Frankincense and myrrh, which are often burned together. And if you are a Bible studier, then you know that those were the two of the gifts brought to the Christ child. And so frankincense itself is usually the resin or incense that is burned to bring in the positive energy, and the myrrh is used to cleanse. Wait, did I say those wrong? No, it's the other way. The myrrh brings in the good energy, and the frankincense cleanses the space. And the funny thing is, because myrrh is not as immediately pleasant as frankincense, people want to burn frankincense all the time. But there's a balance between the two of them, in that the myrrh is bringing in the good energy and the frankincense is cleansing the unnecessary energy. Um, and because the, again, purpose is the purpose is the purpose, the frankincense in cleansing the unnecessary things, what it also does is anti-inflammatory. It's antimicrobial. See, it's blocking things, blocking unnecessary things. It is skin rejuvenating. Myrrh, in bringing in the good things, also helps to get rid of bad microbes, bad bacteria, reduces inflammation, has antioxidants in it. So it's protecting. It is helping to allow the good things to balance in the body. And I get a kick out of it. So I want to make sure that I share them. There's Lang Lang, and Lang Lang, boy, it's a pretty flower that's very potent. So recently, I got a package from a sister that I traveled to Madagascar with. She led our trip, and we could smell the Lang Lang, the lemongrass, just traveling up and down the road because it was so lush. We'd be in between farms. We rode ATVs, and it was like going through a perfumery. It was so magnificent. And she sent me some Lang Lang oil, and Lang Lang just smells like you should put it all over your body. It's sensual. It's it's just good. It smells luscious. It smells luscious. And so when we look at the spiritual properties of Lang Lang, it's heart opening, it's emotionally healing, it balances energy, it's relaxing, it's used in meditation, um, it increases sensuality and joy. It it's regulating for the nervous system, and it's also used in the body for the very same thing. It reduces stress and anxiety. You can put lang lang in an oil burner. You can put lang lang in a tea. You can put lang lang on your body. You can burn the herb. You can buy lang lang incense. So many things. You can create an oil. um, it reduces anxiety and stress. It improves the mood, it promotes skin health and hair health. It aids in sleep. It improves heart health. And I appreciate that the purpose of the purpose. It does the same thing. It does a similar thing on both sides. Um, and they're not sides, but as a whole, its purpose is its purpose. And this is the one that gives me a kick. The butterfly pea flower is the flower that you'll find in your teas that turn blue or richly purple. So Calabash Teas, shout out to Calabash Teas, has a tea called Octavia, or Octavia Butler, and it's got butterfly pea tea in it. and the tea is a rich indigo. It's a beautiful, it's just beautiful. And when you think of, Afrofuturism and science and space, there's a pattern or that's used a lot that's intergalactic, and it's put on sweatshirts and pants, and it's got a very rich purpley blue color in it. That's how the tea comes out. Um, and a large reason for it is the butterfly pea tea, the butterfly pea flowers. So, butterfly pea flowers are supposed to bring inner peace, uh, purification, third eye actualization, which actually runs along with the chakras and the colors that go with the chakras, energy cleansing. Um, it's supposed to help with dream work and intuition. It helps with trance work and connection, and it's used in talisman. So I don't have mine on right now, but when you watch the movie Sinners and you see the mojo bag that Annie has made for smoke, it's often used in those type of things because of all the properties I just listed. But then when it comes to physical health, it's an antioxidant, it's cognitive support, it is heart health, it's eye health, it's digestive and inflammatory um, aiding. It is also, and this is the thing I really dig. And so when the picture pops up, let's put my hand out, picture pop up. When the picture pops up, if it has not already, when we were in Madagascar, the brother who spoke, I don't think he spoke Malagasy. He spoke, oh, please forgive me because I'm not going to say the right language. But the language that he did speak, he held it up and showed it to us, the flower, which is why I took a picture of my hand. And he said, this flower is called the Clitoria, whatever the rest of the name is, Ternata, I believe. He said, what does it look like? Well, it looks like a clitoris. It looks like a beautiful little blue clitoris on a flower. It looks like a flower. Looks like a woman's flower. And the dope thing about that is butterfly PT is also used in reproductive health. So you see this flower that looks very much like um, the vagina, the clitoris, and it's used in um, if there's issues with menstruation, with uh, vaginal discharge, sperm production as an aphrodisiac, that beautiful little pea looks the way it looks and carries out that function and still does all of the things. I have I'm going to talk to you all, I guess, in a couple weeks about the error we make in separating spirituality and sexuality. So for the third eye to be activated and the second to last chakra to also be activated is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Um, and there's a couple more. There's a couple more that we use all the time that I'm not going to post pictures of. But we think about cinnamon. People say you should use cinnamon to clean your house. Cinnamon is used in the body because it's and food because it's spicy. It's supposed to activate the blood. It's supposed to keep blood flow happening um, and reduce inflammation. And when you think of the spiritual principles, um, you clean your house with cinnamon in order to bring wealth your way, to keep that flow of good energy coming to you. So its purpose is its purpose is its purpose. And the same thing with there's a couple other ones. Calendula is something we put in our spiritual baths a lot because of its calm. Um, it is also anti-inflammatory, antioxidant because you can drink calendula in a tea. It is antimicrobial and spiritually it is emotionally healing. It is soothing. And it does that for the body as well. Its purpose is its purpose. Lavender is another one. Lavender is a an herb that we use in honor of the mother energies, and lavender is nurturing. It is calming. I don't always love the taste because it tastes like lotion to me, but it's peace and protection and purification. And then, of course, it reduces stress, promotes sleep, relaxation, reduces anxiety. So all of those things. And the same thing that I talked about, was it last week or week before, about co-regulating with our children? So we have this herb that is used to honor the mothers, burned in honor of mother shrines or female shrines. And that same herb is that same herb is used, has the properties of soothing, of bringing peace, of relaxation. And I think about being a mama and sleeping with my children, especially when they were very small, whether they were sick or had a bad dream or just didn't feel at ease, and being able to regulate and bring peace to them, and that connection happening to the spiritual mothers as well. Even now, if one of the children feels a certain way and they feel like curling up next to me, I'm not going to turn them. So even there, and of course, with all of these and many that I have not mentioned, the opportunity to put these herbs in a spiritual bath to set intention for a spiritual bath, and to use these herbs that have these very real world, both physically and spiritual properties, is a blessing. And oftentimes, when there's another Kwesi coming up for us, so we'll make a spiritual bath, and the children will go through with me what each herb and property, whatever's in the bath, what what they do. You know, why we've put it in the bath, or why I put it in the bath, or why the shrine said put it in the bath. Um, and so the picture that I should pop up is the picture of my daughter's spiritual bath for her Coco Afashe. So if I have not mentioned, I'm pretty sure I did in the resources of African-centered homeschool resources. I mentioned Fawahudi Suya and Anan Jadeka, who is the founder and operator of Fawahudi Suya. You can find it online. You can also find it in, I have a short that says uh, uh, African-centered homeschool resources. Uh, she has done classes on into womanhood, where she encouraged the mothers and the daughters to plan a Coco Afashe, a festival for the red. And at my both of my daughters, they had a spiritual bath. So the picture that you've seen or will see is of my daughter's spiritual bath, including some of the herbs we went over, and certainly some of the intentions that are found in those herbs. So I just wanted to brag a little bit on nature and share my just love that nature consistently shows itself to be consistent, to just be consistent, but also be mindful when you are adding these things to baths. It doesn't hurt to consult someone. It also doesn't hurt to pray and really listen, because in my zeal and zest as a young woman in my 20s, I remember I took a bath with like a gang of essential oils, and I overdid it, and they made me dizzy. Like when I got ready to get out, I was like, um, so you don't want to overdo it, because again, the skin is our first organ. And so it's not just pretty scents you're putting in the bath. All of these properties are. So I'm not quite sure what hoodoo I did on myself that day, but I will certainly behave in moderation here moving forward.